Nosedive sounds like a downward plunge, but for us, it's an invitation to dive headfirst into the shit that scares us most. I'm Renee Adams, joined by my co-host and best friend of over a decade, Mara DeMaro. These are the stories from life beyond the status quo. We embrace the mess to numb less and live more. This is Nosedive. Before we dive into this week's Nosedive episode, I just want to give a trigger warning to some of you listeners out there who may be triggered by some of the topics that we discuss. We talk about substance abuse, sexual abuse, and some other topics that may be a little sensitive for listeners. So just wanted to give a quick disclaimer, also knowing that we are not medical professionals. Any of the topics that we talk about are for entertainment purposes only. And as always, you can reach out to us if you are in need of any help at all. Thanks and enjoy the episode.
Should I say it again? I don't like to know what's coming.
Yeah. We could definitely start there.
I wrote it down.
Oh my God. Oh God. What's up, guys? Mara and I are here for another episode of Nosedive, a show dedicated to highlighting what happens when we numb less and live more, connecting you with people who are choosing curiosity and play over adult-like rigidity, and today's guest is delivering just that. So please give a warm Nosedive welcome to Andrew Adams, high-impact speaker, coach, and yoga teacher, creator of the Reclamation Wellness Retreats, reminding us what peace of mind feels like and the steps to take to adopt it. So welcome, Andrew.
Thank you guys so much for having me. So excited to be here.
And the crowd goes wild.
Well,
I love that. I love your intro. I love your intro. I love everything about it because that's who I am. It's like, this gets to be fun. This gets to be easy. We get to have play. We get to have passion. Fuck. Can we swear? Fuck rigidity.
Yes. Yeah, okay. Absolutely. Yeah. All the curse words are welcome. It was funny, Mara. What did your mom say? It was like,
with the mindful F-bombs.
And the mindful F-bombs.
Yeah. She was like, oh, nice podcast and nice mindful F-bombs throughout it or something.
Happens.
Yeah. Yep.
They're
so
mindful,
true, though.
Though. Okay.
They're mindful, though. Yeah. So, they're allowed. So there we go. But yeah, Andrew, I mean, you make it easy. Like just looking at some of the things that you've done and just a little bit about your journey. We've connected through Courtney Johnson, through social media. Again, this is why I like, we are in this weird pendulum swing of going back to like getting out in nature and kind of being analog. But these are the moments where I'm like, I fucking love social media and I love technology because it's a one-way ticket to be able to connect with not just like-minded people, but just to open your perspective to other things. So for our listeners who don't know you as well, can you give us I feel like this question is always so like, where do I start? Because it's like, there's so much to unpack, but if there was like a highlight reel for Andrew, what would that kind of look like? How did you get here?
There is so much. And I get that feedback all the time that I make it look easy. And I will say that the highlight reel is this. I was born in a super religious family. My dad was a pastor of a church. I have two older sisters. I was raised middle class, upper middle class. I was never without the things that I needed. I grew up in even though we were in the church, a very extremely broken home. It was the make everything look good on the outside because we had an appearance to keep up. So from a very young age, I learned how to lie and I learned how to do everything that's the complete opposite of emotional intelligence and shut everything down and not talk out things with my parents. So it was very much for show. As a child, I went through, some sexual abuse from a very close family member as a child for many years. That's a big part of my healing journey. And then one day, my dad is also gay. He came out of the closet when I was 12. So up until that point, like rigidity, you can't do this, you can't do this. I couldn't date, I couldn't do all, like, I couldn't do any, like, it was
All the
so
can'ts.
regimented. All the can'ts, not the cans, the can'ts.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then literally overnight, it was like night and day. We went from, it was like 11 or 12 at the time. We went from so strict to complete freedom because my father left the church
Whoa.
because he felt that it was, not proper for him to remain. He moved out, and I was living with my mother. She, bless her soul, I love her, went clinically. I look back and know what I know now is like she should have been institutionalized. And like I get it. And the moment I was angry, so that was kind of like my bottle cap for my anger to come out. I lashed out at my mother for many, many years. I did some pretty fucked up shit to my mother because I didn't know how to handle my emotions. I was a child that was told to force them down, force them down, force them down. And then like overnight, it was just like pop. So at a very young age, I was always a straight A student. That was one thing my parents like forced us into was honor classes. And I hated it because I was like the goody two shoe, even though I was like, I wanted to rebel. And, I was the person with the eclectic group of friends. And then I started rebelling, and drugs and alcohol and house parties from the age of first time I smoked weed was like 12. And then, the ages of 14, 15, 16, it was like house parties every Friday, Saturday, Sunday night, wake up, go to school, get good grades. Still, I'm having this breakthrough now, still pretending that everything is okay. Still
Totally.
pretending that everything is okay. Fast forward, graduate high school, go through nursing school. And that's really when my full-blooded addiction took over, where daily opiate use became a thing because I'm a deeply intuitive person, and I have realized that I never used drugs. I used drugs to like quiet the voices in my head, or like they were used to disconnect me from spirit because I was so overwhelmed by how deeply I felt that drugs made me feel normal. And then obviously, it's really fun until it's not. Until you're waking up, shitting your brains out in cold sweats. And that went on for about a decade. And then in 2000, what year are we in? 2025. In
Yeah.
2018 was the last time that I went to a treatment facility, long-term care treatment. And then in that 8 years, I have poured into myself, into self-development, into emotional intelligence, through business coaches, through workshops, seminars, doing everything that I possibly can, doing the work, right? Doing the work that we're here to talk about, getting down to the nitty gritty, purging the guilt, the shame, the apathy, the fear, the anger, all of that physically from my body. So here I am now at the age of 36, talking to, two beautiful humans, standing in my power that I am a high impact speaker and coach. And that's what I'm here to cause and create and to facilitate transformation with other individuals one-on-one, in groups. I love teaching yoga. That is like my somatic practice. And continuing to grow to here. Like my goal is to speak on stages and to just continue to grow my impact, because people get to know that they are worthy of loving themselves. They are worthy of my thing is the peace frequency. So being unbothered, being, unfuckwithable, being untouched, because the world is so much chaos, and it's always going to be. And people, you can have so much money in the world, but if you don't have emotional intelligence and the ability to choose peace like that internally in your body, in my mind, you have nothing. You have nothing. I don't care if you have millions of dollars in the bank. If you can't cultivate peace in an instant in your body, you're constantly on the defense with the world.
Yeah. I mean, I know Mara and I, both of our minds are just like racing with so many elements and like pockets of not only vulnerability for you sharing your story, because I think that's where the transformation happens, not only for yourself, but for our listeners and other people that you connect with. But one thing that comes to mind for me is your foundation of peace of mind. Eddie Murphy just came out with a documentary, and he talks about how he prays for peace of mind. Other people pray for like fortune and fame and whatever success looks like the materialistic things.
Mm-hmm.
And he prays for peace of mind. And to me, like what you're saying, it goes along that same thing where it's like, yeah, that's what I want. That is what success looks like. That is what um living this like aligned life feels like. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm so happy that you highlight that in the work that you do.
Yeah, because it's like the human connection that we're, one thing that we have many things in common, but every single human on this planet has a few internal dialogues. One of them is negative and condescending and wants to see you fail. We all have the voice that says, I'm not good enough, you're not good enough, I'm going to fail, I can't hold success, I'm ugly, I'm fat. Like the list goes on and on and on. There's a study that it's like 80% of our thoughts on a day-to-day basis are negative, are ineffective, and 95% of our thoughts are repetitive. So if 95%, I may have the numbers, but they're similar to this. Numbers messed up, but they're similar. So if 95% of our thoughts are repetitive and 80% of our thoughts are negative and life sucking, then that peace of mind is the winning ticket. Because I can now in a place where like I have the thoughts that say I'm not, the biggest one is that I'm not good enough. I'm not worthy. I'm not worthy of success. I'm not worthy of coaching people. I'm not worthy of leading groups of individuals. That's my number one conversation. I am not good enough. Day after day after day after day. But I receive feedback that I'm confident, that I'm all this stuff. It's like, yes. And in my mind, that conversation is still happening.
Mm-hmm.
I have just developed a greater offense system to quiet it, put that voice in the passenger seat versus driving my life. I live in the mindset of you can make decisions through the lens of fear or you can make decisions through the lens of love. There's no in between. You are either acting from fear or acting from love. It is black and white. And I like to simplify things as much as humanly possible.
I'm just like sitting here because I feel like I'm taking in so much and I love it. I'm just so curious what you have to say in regards to, because you're speaking to these different, there's, you can say it however you want, parts work or, different things that come up within us and these different voices, quote unquote voices. And we're talking about the negative kind of storylines or narratives that we can have and be thinking about subconsciously. So I feel like there have been times in my life where I would have never assumed or been aware that those are the stories that I'm telling myself. And I'm like, how do you get to a point if you're so obviously someone who is like down and out and really struggling with negative self-talk or negative self-beliefs, but you don't think you are? Like, how do you actually get to the point where you do have that awareness? Do you think it's something that, like from your own personal experience, was it something that like you just, finally something clicked? Or is there something that someone can actually teach you? You know what I mean? Like pull you out of it? Like such an interesting...
think knowing what I know now, I would say that the simplest way is for someone to hold up a mirror, right? To seek guidance from someone that is where you want to be, right? That someone that can give you the feedback of what you are not currently seeing. Because like you just said, some people are operating in this world as that negative conversation is happening and they think it's normal. And they think it's normal because it's what's comfortable and it's what has been playing for their whole entire life. They don't know any different. And it can take, people, places, or things or moments in time can be, near death experiences typically have the effect on people to like have that aha wake up moment. But, transformation work, coaches, all of that, or just having a guide of some sort to be like, hey, this is what I see. in between the lines that you may not be seeing is, can we talk about that? Right. So it takes a mirror of sorts. That can be a person, that can be an event, that could be a, 5D experience, because, we've moved in the age of, plant medicine and mushrooms and ayahuasca and bufo and all of the things that are projecting people into the 5D. Those are our aha moments. There's so many ways. It's never one size fits all, because if you're like me and really fucking stubborn, I required a lot of mirrors. I required a lot of lows. People, in the recovery world, people are like, once you hit rock bottom, no, I had that shovel and I was going to the earth's core, and I was not going to stop, and I was going to keep digging. And that's the thing, is that we dig, we can't see the light anymore. And it's hard. It's challenging. That's why it's uncomfortable. And we as humans have, with technology and everything, have become really comfortable with being comfortable. And now shy away from if something causes discomfort, people are like, no, that's wrong. I'm like, I am the mindset of like, I am not soft with, I am vulnerable, and I can be gentle with people. And I'm that fucking wake up call of like, you get to just snap the fuck out of it, because this work isn't comfortable. I mean, last night I was literally unraveling, and I was like bawling my eyes out for no apparent reason, other than like, I'm just shedding layers of myself, of things that I'm letting go of. And there's a mourning to that. There's a mourning process. And people don't understand that, and people go down this work of transformation, and there's so many different lanes, get uncomfortable, and then stop. The easiest example is, because we're coming up to it, and I fucking hate it. I used to be a personal trainer, nutrition coach. I've done a lot of things. The new year, new me, New Year's resolution. I'm going to get a hot, sexy body for this summer. It's the easiest depiction of the human nature. We go to the gym for 30 days straight. We get really fucking sore and uncomfortable, and then we stop because it's not comfortable.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing with the mind, body. It's the same connection. You challenge fear, you meet discomfort, you either run into it or run from it. And I have cultivated peace, and I'm really comfortable being uncomfortable, because it has gotten me here, and it was worth it all. Because like, the past 8 years have not been pretty. Have not always been sunshine and rainbows and Instagram reels, and it's not pretty. It's ugly. It's brutal. It's chaotic. It's death. It's rebirth. It's transformation. It's you just like, like moment to moment. But like, on the other side of that, I'm just like, I walk into a space, and I no longer like, I'm not overridden by this person's thinking about me, or, oh my God, do I look okay? I'm just like, fuck this shit. I don't have time. I don't have mental space for that anymore. I don't have mental space to be consumed with other people's thoughts of me, or how I'm obviously I'm not being an asshole, but I'm not like worried about how I'm showing up, because it doesn't matter. Because at the end of the day, we all die. Like, here's a spoiler alert. We all die. We all die. That's why I love your intro. Have fun. Have some play. Release. I mean, we're adults. Like, and I just tell people to release their buttholes, because
everybody's buttholes are clenched. They are clenched.
The whole world is just so uptight and clenched and on edge, because everybody is on the defense, and the peace frequency is creating the grounded offense. So when the shit starts flying, I'm just like, okay. Because like, in the past 2 weeks, I'm in 2 massive transformation containers. I'm leading a team. I'm learning to be a speaker and a facilitator of transformational works, aka like to be a keynote speaker. I just had a roommate move in, my friend Erin, for 2 months. She has a cat, and then we just got a puppy 2.5 weeks ago. And then I just had 2 weekends back to back in training, and I just came back from that retreat in Mexico with Alta Vida. So and I'm like, I'm good. I'm like, what's next? where in the past I would be crippled.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
It
That's
takes,
a lot to unpack.
yeah, it takes a while to get to that place to be able to have the capacity to
Yep.
balance all that and manage all of that. And I want to go back just a second because you were, or a little bit, you were talking about mirrors. I want to go back to this because I'm curious what your thoughts are on, because you even said it, you were like, I was going to keep digging the hole. So, and I had mirrors. So is it just mirrors, or what do you feel about receptivity? Like someone can be holding a fucking big sign at your face, and many people can be holding signs for you or mirrors, but it's, in my experience, it was the willingness on my end to actually be receptive to what is being shown to me.
Yep.
And who can do that? Only the person themselves. Like, and that's so, it's so kind of like mind blowing to me that there can be so many mirrors and so many resources for people, but it truly isn't until someone is willing to see their own reflection.
And make a new choice.
Right.
And then make a new choice. And then make a new choice. And then make a new choice. And then you make a new choice.
Yeah. Decisions. Yeah.
Love, or fear.
Yeah.
Because love is self-love, right? That's a lot of my coaching is choosing yourself, because people just don't realize how much power we give away to people, places, and things when we are not actively choosing love, or, love of others, or love of ourselves. It's in the way that we show up, the way that we wake up. It's, people don't understand that's like the detriment that snoozing an alarm in the morning and not waking up for does for your entire day energetically, because I've made a declaration. I'm waking up at 6 a.m. and I'm going to go to the gym. 6 a.m. rolls around. I snooze the alarm. I break my word. I break my integrity. I am in a radical act of self-deprecation. And I now wake up at 7. I'm rushing around. I don't make the gym. I barely make it to work on time. I didn't eat breakfast, right? You see like
Sets the tone.
How quickly a spiral happens. And people think that it's these big moments. Oh, well, I don't lie to people, or I don't do this and I don't do that. But it's the little things. It's the smallest of things that can cause an avalanche. But yeah, willingness to make a new choice. And that's self-love. It's an act of self-love. I am choosing me, right? That's when I came out of addiction this last time, I chose me and continued to choose me over and over and over and over again until I got to a place where I could then begin to focus out on other people and have other people start choosing themselves. Because I mean, I feel like if you've gone through like addiction or anything like that, like you got to choose yourself for at least, a minimum of, that's why like, in AA, NA, they're like, don't get in a relationship for the first year. Greatest piece of advice that is never listened to. You got to choose yourself for a minimum of a year so that you even know. We learn how to love others by how we love ourselves.
Yeah. And I think too, if you're someone like me who's like a big empath, and when I hear these, you hear in the healing space, like choose yourself, love yourself first. I'm like I don't know about that, but I think how I can digest that anyway is by choosing yourself. Well, it doesn't mean you like say fuck off to everyone else. Like you're becoming a more loving person, and you're able to hold capacity for others. And by choosing yourself, you are choosing others too. It's just the emphasis is a little different, and the priorities are a little different. You're learning how to care for yourself and really love yourself and treat yourself and learn about, a positive, or rather like expansive self-talk, a wider vocabulary, and that is ultimately going to love and help other people too. So it's not just like, oh yeah, be super selfish, fuck off, like just love yourself. That's like not the message I don't want anyone to ever get confused with.
And I feel like when you begin that journey of self-love, I feel like that is a window of time because you're learning to choose yourself. I feel like that is a process that a lot of people go through, where they go through that window of like, that I'm choosing myself, get away from me. And then they quickly learn, right? It's not about that, but again, you get to, your relationship with yourself gets to be number one. I tell my now husband this on date number 2, and I was like, hey, just to let you know, like, you will never be my number one. I am my number one, and you are number 2. And I continue to breathe life into that conversation on a regular basis, because I never want to be his number one. That's giving, when someone else is your number one, you're actively giving your power away to somebody else. And that includes God. That includes people that are, nothing against religion, but people that are super religious and give their power away to God. And, God makes all of their decisions. No, God gave us, I say God, universe, source, whatever you believe in, gave us free will and gave us the ability to choose. Can you have guidance? Yes. But like, here's the thing where, in the world of recovery, you can get called a, egotistical maniac. It's the journey of transformation is coming back to the knowing that I am God and that you are God. And by choosing myself, I am in fact choosing God. Right? So there's a difference of energy of, am I giving my power away because God is number one? Or am I number one because I know God is part of me? Therefore, there's no separation. There's no division. I am divine. And so many people, right? There's whole books about it. Codependency no more.
Yeah.
Attachment styles and
codependency.
all
For
this
sure.
other stuff it's a power conversation. I like to boil things down to the root, because I think we live in a world that is addicted to treating symptoms. It's one reason why I got out of nursing, other than, being Nurse Jackie and stealing all of the drugs. We can go into that after. But getting down to the root of what's actually happening, it is where the juice is, and in where lasting transformation has, instead of just throwing fucking medication, pills, treatments. It's just like, you got to figure out what is at the core of the fear that is being flushed up.
Yeah. And we talk about that like a lot on this podcast and just in conversations that Mara and I have. And I think like through your work, you talk a lot about remembering certain things. And I think that goes along with what you're saying with like getting to the root of things. So why emphasize that part of like the remembering? Because, going back to your story and sort of the rug sort of being pulled from underneath you and then having to navigate that situation, you would maybe think like, I don't want to remember those aspects of my life. I think obviously it's like very beneficial to being able to transform, but I'm wondering like why the foundation of remembering, like why is that such an emphasis like that you like to make?
Yeah, because it's not just remembering, what happened for you, what happened to you. It's truly the remembering that you are God, that you are divine. I mean, that is the end goal. But everything that is within us, it's a remembering of, like love. Like, it's a remembrance of love. You never lost love. You just it got covered up by all of the bullshit. So as you're shedding layers, you are coming home to yourself. You are simply remembering things. You are remembering that you are loved. You are remembering that you are divine. You are remembering that you get to be number one. You are remembering that all humans are connected, and I don't get to be an asshole anymore, right? You come back to that. It's because it's not we live in a world that wants to treat, put on. But in all actuality, it's release, because we're all born into this world a baby. We're born with 2 fears as a child. Do you know the fears that you have as a child, as a baby? Fear
When I come back.
fear of falling and fear of loud noises. Those are the only fears that you come into this planet with. Therefore, every other fear you know, the irrational ones, obviously, like if you're hanging off the side of a cliff, that's not what we're talking about. But like fear of not good enough, fear of being judged, fear of being seen, that is all learned. That is all caked on. That is all
Yeah.
the junk. So when you remove it, you or have the opportunity to remember, I'm a child of God and I came into this world with two fears. One being loud noises. That's why when someone goes bang, people get scared, and fear of falling.
I did not know that.
Me either.
So it's never adding to. It's in my mindset. It's always removing what's quote unquote not working.
Yeah, creating the
The
space.
path of least resistance.
Oof.
Letting
Yeah.
go, surrender. Shout out to David Hawkins. Letting go, the pathway of surrender. If you have
Yes.
not read this book, this is a Bible. It sits on my desk. My first business coach, his name is Jeffrey Combs, introduced me to David Hawkins. He has many other books. It is the beginning process that started me 7 years ago of being able to just bless and release and surrender, where it's just not, that's the peace frequency. That's the ability to feel tightness and just be like, I'm choosing to let this go because it's not serving me. It's a practice, just like going to the gym. People are like, oh, that's woo woo. It's the same as going to the gym. That's the
Yeah.
thing. And it's challenging because we can't see it. It's not
Can't
tangible.
touch it. Yep.
You can't touch it. Like, whereas I can go to the gym, I can work out and I can get a 6-pack and I get an 8-pack and I get biceps and butt and all of that stuff. And I can see the results. People don't always aren't bearing witness to the results and they're like, it's not working. And I had the same thoughts and I was like, I'm just going to continue. And I continued to throw myself into, I just call it the work of transformation, transcending levels of consciousness. And the more I continued to do so, my life has exponentially gotten better and better. I would say it's like I still have aha moments, even when I'm on podcasts, in the way that I speak, in the way that I hold myself, in the words that come out of my mouth. Sometimes I'm like, who is this? who is
Who just said that?
The mirror that's being held before you.
Yeah.
Like when I coach, I voice record every single one of my coaching sessions, not only for, because I love, I might call ChatGPT Chatty Daddy. I love Chatty Daddy. And it's a great resource and tool. And I also like despise AI because I think it's just adding to the disconnection of humans. But I put all of my coaching calls through it because I will coach and people were like, what did you just say? And I'm like, I have no idea. Because I just become a channel. And in the work that I do, the teams that I lead, I just become a channel because of this work, I can intuitively just connect to somebody and speak what they need to hear. And then I'm just like, I forget it. So I record it so that there's never that incident with my coaching clients. And it creates a beautiful, client facing summary, where we're going next week, what to do this week that you declared, and so on and so forth. So great tool for intuitive empaths to just like lock in everything. And then eventually I can just create things from it, like create structured programs from my coaching.
Yeah.
Which is really God, divine, right? And it's so funny because I'm like, I grew up so religious and I catch myself saying things that I'm like, ugh. But truly, I give all of the glory to, I prefer universe and source, but I just say God because it's simple. I owe glory to God because it's not, yes, I have free will and like the transmissions that we receive as humans. Like, where the fuck do you think it comes from? Come on. Like, all consciousness is universal. So it's like when you think of something, you've pulled it from the the unconscious, the unseen. Everything, every invention, the Tesla, the light bulb, all of that stuff was pulled from a collective conscious.
We are all connected. Yeah, I mean it's freaking wild. Like when you think about it, when you have these synchronicities, when you feel like you're just so deeply connected to one another. it happens with Mara and I all the time where we're like, oh my God,
like
I was just thinking that.
voice notes.
Yeah.
Like, oh my
We're
God,
like,
this
what
just
the
happened.
fuck?
Blah, blah, blah.
I'm a witch. I am a witch. But that's okay. Yeah. So going back to just like, I think your story and kind of what you've gone through. I think a lot of the times, like you said too, with us equating this work to some kind of like outcome, I think that's very human of us to attach the work that we do to a specific outcome. So, through your just transformative work, like how does that play into maybe how you coach or your own journey, removing some of that attachment to outcomes and really just like enjoying the ride, which
Yeah.
has been so hard for me personally to separate those two things, and still honor it. Like, you know, you still want to be like doing good for other people and yourself
Mhm.
and community and da da da. But how have you, like, through your own journey, kind of like maybe separated those things? What does that look like for you?
The number one thing that's coming through is having a, you know, a clear North Star, a clear vision, a clear why. Because at the root of everything that you're speaking into is attachment. And Buddha said the root of all suffering is attachment. So when we attach to things, we create our own suffering. I live in the mindset of every amount of suffering that you feel as a human being is self-inflicted.
Hmm.
All of it. That is my mindset. If I'm experiencing suffering, it's my doing. No one has the power to make me feel suffering unless I allow that to happen. I love results. I have had, you know, I have deep wounds around being attached to results because I think it goes back to, not I think I know, it goes back to as humans, we love the tangible. We love to
Yeah.
see things. So
I
it's
fucking
really,
love the tangible.
yeah.
Mara's like, yes, give me all the tangerines.
It feels really good to attach to an outcome, and an outcome can be your driving force, but it's the energy that when you hit it or don't hit it, right? If you're like, I'm going for a $10,000 month, and then you hit 8,000 and you're like, I'm a piece of shit. I'm an asshole. I give up, right? That is attachment to results dictating your worth. And that's the deeper level, is that I am not worthy until I have $1 million in my bank account. I am not worthy until I have a podcast that's in the top, 1%. I'm not worthy until we set all of these make believe boundaries and guidelines for ourselves of what dictates our worth, and what breaks through that is just deciding I am worthy just because. It doesn't matter what I create in this, none of that stuff matters. What matters in this moment is that I'm worthy because I decided that I'm worthy. And then moving from that space, we're human. Of course, the attachment will come up. And again, pathway of surrender, it's all about releasing attachments. We're human. We love results. We love them to especially, that's why I fucking hate social media, and I love it for, what you spoke into, but it is a vehicle to keep humans trapped in the loop of I am not good enough, I am not worthy, I am not good enough until I have 1 million followers, I only got 2 likes. I catch myself, believe me, I still to this day catch myself, oh, I fucking spent so much time on this reel and 2 people fucking liked it. What the fuck? And I can still go down that road where, like, I literally in this past week, I've pulled myself from social media and I have not posted because I have boundaries now. I will not give to that space if it is not coming from an overfilling cup. I don't give a flying fuck about an algorithm. My, real life doesn't happen on social media. Yes, it's a highlight reel, but that's not where fucking life happens. And so many people are living there as it's the only thing, and it drives me crazy. So it's like, it's a tool. It is a simple tool that I still have, working through the resistance. and it'll be the first thing that I offload when it's time to, bring in assistance into my business will be social media, because I want nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
I want nothing. That's why I'm like, I love being podcast guests. I've started 2 podcasts and they maybe made like 6 episodes. And I'm just like, this isn't my jam. This is
Yeah.
not, I like to be in people's faces, one-on-one, hit the streets, guerrilla marketing, like social media. And it's like time and time and time again, like I'm reminded, like when I put too much time into social media, and the universe is like, get the fuck out of your house and go speak to people, because as you said, we're making a loop. And I've been feeling this since the beginning of the pandemic or COVID. I'm like, I have predicted the past 6 years, and my friends thought that I was fucking crazy, and I've lost a lot of friends, and that's okay. But everything that I have thought that was, thought in the moment was going to happen has happened. And here we are, a full circle moment where people are coming back, remembering that we are humans and we thrive on connection. And when disconnection happens, right? 2020 disconnection was forced. I think the whole thing was a ploy, and different. That's a different podcast. We need to, go down.
Oh no, we like the juicy. So I mean, if you want to say some conspiracy
go
things,
down the rabbit holes.
it.
I think the whole thing was a test on to see how humans can be controlled, and to create a massive disconnection and separation in the human race, of which it worked. It created a massive division, and it just continued to grow. It was, now people are just attacking people, and if you don't agree with what I agree with, you're wrong, and I'm going to kill you. That's being dramatic, but it's actually happening. If you don't vote for the same president that I vote for, you're an asshole and you want me to die. If you don't get vaccinated, then you're saying that you don't care about humans. If you don't wear a mask, then you're saying that you want everyone to get sick and die. What the fuck? It was all a ploy to create separation, and it fucking worked. And the people that are waking up and remembering, like you two beautiful souls, that we drive on human connection. Thank you for the work that you do. We are the the fucking frontier men, the people that are coming back to the remembering that we get to be in community, and we get to fucking lead with love. And that is how we actually heal the world.
Yeah, it's dealing in extremes. Anytime you're dealing with extreme anything, it's usually the outcome is not favorable for anybody. So yeah, we need some kind of like level of understanding. And I think it's like, it's so fascinating to me how people can be so quick to lash out at other people. I think there's a lot of healing we need to do as just a society, but having people in your circle who don't agree with you is a good thing. Like, that's how you build perspective. Because if you're only looking at something one way, that's not perspective. That's your, I don't know, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, exactly. So
100%. Like it is okay to have a difference of opinions. And somewhere along the way, society made it wrong. Therefore,
Discomfort.
Yeah.
It's 100%. It's so much easier to throw the blame, the shame, the guilt card, instead of looking inward. And again, it's over the same lines of people want to be comfortable, and it's more comfortable to be like, you're wrong. You're an asshole, instead of doing the work and looking internally and being like, hey, what is the perception that I have here? Is it serving me? Is it moving me forward to my vision, my North Star? Is it from love, or oh my God, this mic, or is it from fear?
Yeah. Can you also maybe share with us one of your stories that maybe is like a little cringy for you? Like, and I don't know what that looks like. And maybe Mara, you can maybe help me articulate this question better, but
I don't know. I don't, lots of things don't make me cringe anymore. So I'm all on board.
An experience that you would share from the past, like in an earlier transformational stage, maybe? Like,
I mean, what what still makes me cringe and like I'm not even attached to is just like the fucked up shit that I did when I was an addict. Like the it still makes me, I mean, not cringe in the way of like, scared to share it, but before I got clean this last time, I was driving my car on the highway. I went to go pick up drugs. I got high. I was driving on the highway home. I fell asleep, had no seatbelt on. I rear-ended another car, pushed that car off the highway. I smashed my head on the windshield, woke up, regained control of my car, didn't die for like the 10th time.
Insane.
Wow.
And the first thought when I got to the side of the road was not, are those other people okay? It was, I have to hide my drugs. I have to hide my paraphernalia. There was fucking needles exploded everywhere in my car. I didn't give a shit. I did not give a shit if I had just killed someone. That thought was not the first thought. It was not the second thought. It was not the third thought. It was not the fourth thought. It was not the fifth thought. It was not a thought until I like a days later. So that is my level of cringe.
Yep.
I mean, there was times that I prostituted a friend of mine. She was fully on board, but that's another, like, I'm like, ugh. I just like look back and to get drugs, like you do absolutely insane things. Want to hear? It's not as cringy, but it's a fucked up story. I drove from Massachusetts to Florida because I was like, I'm going to get clean. And my mother lived down there. And I was like, I'm going to remove myself from this environment that I'm in because I need to get clean. Went down to Florida. I traveled with drugs, used them all up by the time I got there. I was in Florida for less than 24 hours. I somehow found a way to get money. I had a friend, Western Union me money that I was abusing for money and manipulating and lying to. And I drove back from Florida to Massachusetts to get drugs. And
Holy shit.
Hold on, it gets better. I drove 19 hours in the state of South Carolina. I stopped at a pit stop to get gas. And because I was so out of it, I was dope sick and hadn't slept. I like pulled into the wrong way and I didn't see a curb coming. And at the last second, I had to like yank my wheel and my car turned sideways and popped up on an embankment. And it sounded like my axle snapped. I got out of the car. My tire had just popped. I drove my car, put my donut on it, okay? That had already probably had 200 miles on it. Put my donut on, drove from South Carolina. I made it to the Connecticut, Rhode Island border, and it popped. This was Thanksgiving. I don't remember what year it was. This was on Thanksgiving. My family did not know that I left Florida. I mean, they figured it out. They didn't know that I was leaving. I said I was going to the grocery store, and that I did to get the Western Union money. And I had contacted my drug dealer, and I said, I'm coming back to Massachusetts right now. I'll see you in 20 hours.
Oh, man.
So now I'm not done.
You're like, wait.
There's more. So how the addict brain works is we're fucking relentless. Is that I just needed to make it like 20 more miles. So I had a bright idea once my donut popped. I was like, I'm going to move one of my back tires, because I had a front wheel drive car, one of my back wheels to my front. And I'm going to put my blown tire on the back because at least it won't be the motor. And I did all of that work and like drove like another mile. And I was like, I can't do this. Called my family, threw my hands up. This was like the first time that I went into treatment. So this was like 2015. And then got towed. It was Thanksgiving Day. Got a spare and still managed to get drugs.
I mean,
we do some crazy shit. So when people are like,
so I grew up around a lot of substance abuse and people that I love using hard drugs. And I just like, it was interesting. Last night, my brother and I and my sister-in-law, we were talking about laughing. And I was saying how much I love laughing. And my brother was kind of like, yeah, but it's not sustainable. I was like, yeah, I know. I was like, but also I probably like, I do. I live in this like, I wish I could be in a euphoric feeling all the fucking time. And but also I grew up watching people, you know, suffer
Chase that.
through addiction, and so I never went down that road that hard.
Mm-hmm.
And we were like, what does it feel like to actually be on heroin? So what does that feel like?
I mean,
And why can't you stop? Because it's so fucking good, or like what?
yeah, it definitely depends on the type of human you are, because like how your brain chemistry works, because there's people that will use opiates and just throw up and go to bed. I where like some people are like uppers. I'm so wired and hyperactive to begin with. So like you give me caffeine, cocaine, like I could fall asleep. Opiates gave me energy. Opiates gave me, like when I started with pills, oxy, it gave me energy. Like I could clean my house from top to bottom and scrub it with a toothbrush, and like it would make me. It's euphoric. It's warm. It feels like a warm embrace. It's all of the pain is gone. Your brain goes quiet. It's like a big sigh for someone that's wound tight. It's a big sigh. And then you get physically dependent, which is completely different than, in my mind, addiction. Physical dependence is very different than addiction, because a human being can become physically dependent on pain medication, but not be an addict. Take like a person that has surgery, is prescribed pain medication for, I mean, it's like literally after a week, your body becomes physically dependent on it. They get off of it, they get the flu, and they feel like shitty, and it lasts for a couple of days and they move on with their life. That's not addiction. Addiction is all of the behaviors that come after the physical dependence of I need more, I need more, I need more, I need more. And I mean, the reason I couldn't stop is that every single morning I'd wake up sick. I'd be shitting my brains out. I'd be nauseous. It feels like the flu times 1,000. You're hot, you're cold, you're sweating, you're getting goosebumps, your stomach is flipping. So the second that you do drugs, all of that goes away.
Yeah.
And it's because you've exhausted your dopamine. So when you do drugs, it's a dopamine hit, a dopamine spike. And then if you just do drugs once, you come back to normal levels. When you start doing it more and more, your brain says, okay, this human being is feeding me dopamine. The brain shuts the dopamine makers off. So then when you stop doing drugs, you start going below baseline, and this space right here is active withdrawal. So then you can do a little drugs and you just hit baseline, and like you stop getting high. You're just like, okay, I'm just normal. And then you do a little bit more to get high. And that depth, or there's the fucking digging, goes lower and lower and lower, and it takes more and more and more just to hit baseline.
Right.
The last time I got clean, I didn't sleep for like 75 days.
75.
I would sleep for like 20 minutes at a time. It took like I almost went into a psych unit because I was going, I have pushed my brain and my body to the limits of like, to the brink of collapse. Like, that's why, like, I make a joke with my husband. I'm like, if for some reason, like a doctor was like, hey, you're going to die in 2 days because of this. Like, I'd be like, I'm not surprised. Because
I've seen it, done it all.
I have pushed my body so far to the brink of death that it wouldn't surprise me. But yeah, it's just it's a physical dependence, and then it's the lifestyle. It's the getting the drugs, getting everything ready. Like that became like a ceremony. It became sacred. I would play the same song. Like it became a ritual.
That's what was coming through for me when you said that. It's like when people talk about their sleepy time tea ritual, it's like that's what it was for you.
Yep. It becomes a ritual. It was like the getting of the drugs and the doing the drugs that you then become addicted to. it wasn't even the feeling, because again, you get to a point where you're just using to be a normal human.
Right. Yeah, just that like base level feeling of existing.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and I think it's just like I hope that for listeners, it's not that it's inspiring, because I don't know personally what that's like to go through that type of experience, but to hear what you have been through and now what you're cultivating, and you're on the other side of that and experiencing life in a very, very different way, and almost embracing all of that mess and the suck, and being like, bring it on, baby. Like,
Mm-hmm.
let's fucking go. Like, it's just really it's incredible. It's incredible to me, because like you, from the first second of that first story that you were telling us, like so many different times there could have been like, nope, that's it. Like, that's it
Yep.
for you. That's it for your life. And I mean, it really is life or death. And to see you and what you're doing now, it's just, I hope it gives people hope for wherever they are in their situation.
100%. And I thank you for all of that. I appreciate you, because like sometimes I forget, and I talk about it like it's no big deal, and
Hmm.
people are like, oh my, like I'll like make jokes because people are like, oh my god, your skin, it looks amazing, and I'm like, I wash it with water. They're like, how is that possible? And I'm like, it was the heroin. And people
They're
will
like,
be like, people will be like,
oh,
ha, 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 ha. And I'm like, no, seriously.
yeah,
Sometimes I even forget what I've gone through, because I've done so much work that it doesn't even,
Yeah.
that person doesn't feel like me anymore.
right.
So I still need the reminder of all that I've accomplished, because in this scheme of things, everything that I went through is such a small blip. Like it is 1%, and we as humans love to make that 1% 100%
Yeah.
and make it be everything. And I think I've
Mm-hmm.
just navigated in a way that it's such a small percentage that it I sometimes I forget. I'm like I forget when people are like, I'm blown away, and I'm just like, just another day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
just
Well,
another
it's
it's just
because, well, all of the other accomplishments that you, and again, not to like do just the attachment or the success or like the things, but where you are now as a human being is so much more celebrated than those elements. But I'm happy to also hear that you're very open in sharing those details, because it's difficult. I mean, that shit is hard. Like, there are some people who can't admit certain things or don't voice certain things, and to each their own of how they want to sort of live their life, but I think it's refreshing and also just very important for people to share their story. Um
You got to feel it all. You got to feel it
yeah.
all. And when we run from it. I mean, that's simply my aim, is to be permission for people to remember and just fucking love themselves. So I will scream it I will scream my deepest, darkest traumas from the rooftops, or from the book that I'm currently writing. It doesn't, I don't, it doesn't affect, like I share openly and honestly because it gives permission for people to do the same.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And I live in the mindset of like, the world has gone so soft, and we live in a world where people don't want to feel uncomfortable, and we got to tiptoe around people. And I'm just
Mm-hmm.
like, feel your fucking trauma and move through it. Because if you're
Mm-hmm.
still in a story that it's, oh my God, this happened to me you're a victim. You're a victim,
Mm-hmm.
victim, 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 victim. And yes, fucked up shit happens. I have, again, molested, I've been raped, I've done all of the traumas from A to Z. I've experienced them all. And yes, was I a victim in the certain situation? Sure. And after that point, I have the choice of remaining a victim or choosing responsibility to heal, release, love myself, forgive, release the guilt, release the shame, release the fear, release the anger. That is also a choice.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't, and people are like, Andrew, you're too brash, you're too harsh, you're too this, you're too that. And I'm just like, no, I'm like, fire starter energy. I rub people the wrong way. I have people constantly that say that they're intimidated by me, and I'm like the most fun loving person. But because I'm so secure in who I am and where I'm going and what I will take a stand for, I don't, if you want to hide behind your trauma, I am not the person that you'd call for a free coaching call. I am not the person that unless you're willing to be in a conversation of what it looks like to walk through it, I'm just not your guy, because I'm here for people to walk them through the remembrance, and it's not comfortable, and you gotta remember, you gotta walk through it all, you gotta forgive. I mean, there's been moments in time without the use of drugs, 5D drugs, where I have purged anger and guilt and shame from my body. Like I have felt it come out and leave my body. You gotta do the work. And if you're not willing to do the work, you're being a victim. Same thing. Victim, responsibility. There's no in between. You're either in victim or you're in radical responsibility for your life. There's no in between. I love the no in betweens. I love keeping it so simple. Love, fear, victim, responsibility. It just gives people such clear it eliminates the back doors, because as humans, we love a good back door. We love to be like, I'm a scapegoat real quick.
Totally.
Andrew, for real, heroin made your skin clear?
I joke because like chemically,
I'm super gullible, so let's just clear this one up.
Wait.
Chemically speaking, opiates slow down every single cellular process in the human body.
So you're like being pickled.
In a way. It's the lifestyle choices that come with drug addiction. Well, with heroin, that typically make, people unsavory looking. Now, cocaine, crack, meth, which are all uppers, those have severe physical side effects, because it's a stimulant, so it dries up all of your secretions. So like that's why people start losing teeth, because their mouth is dry all of the time. That avenue of drugs is what make people look, their face sunken in. I would say they're harder on the neurological system. They speed the neurological system up. They speed up the cellular process. So it's like, I make the joke because I'm like, heroin slows down the process of cells. So therefore, for 12 years, I slowed down the process of aging. Therefore, I look super young, and I'm 52 years old. Not really. I'm 36.
That's so interesting. Huh.
It's not truth. It's
your antidote.
It's truth that it slows down the cellular processes, but
Right.
it is not, to the listeners, it is not the fountain of youth. Do not go try it.
We do not recommend.
Do not try this at home.
The fountain of youth is laughing. The fountain of youth is choosing joy and choosing love and choosing passion and creativity and choosing vision and choosing life.
Connection.
That is the fountain of youth. People are like, how do you have so much energy? Because every single day, every single moment, because I am human and I have my days, I choose love. I choose love of myself. I choose love of others. I choose joy. I choose play. I choose energy. This is a choice, just like going to the gym. Because I could choose to be real fucking miserable on this podcast right now with with all of the doings and that's happened in my life in the past couple, week. I could be like, oh my God, I really don't want to be here, guys.
Yeah.
I'm really physically tired, and oh my God, my dog won't start biting me. Like, oh my God, I just got out of a training weekend and I cooked for 50 people for 16 hours a day, 3 days in a row. Like, that's a choice.
Yeah.
I could choose to be victim to circumstance, victim to everything around me, victim to, I don't know. I have to fucking pay my bills. It's in the work that I do, it's a simple change up of speaking. Like, people are like, I have to do this. I have to do that. And changing that to like, I get to, I choose to, I'm blessed to. Just that. Catch yourself. Here's a practice for you both. in the next 24 hours, catch yourself how many times that you hear yourself saying, I have to edit this podcast. I have to find more people to be on my podcast. I have to post on Instagram. I have to go to the grocery store. I have to do the dishes. I have to do the laundry. I have to feed myself. Catch yourself. You'll be amazed. And then the simple switch is just whatever resonates more. I choose to, I get to, I'm blessed to. You get to because you woke up this morning. How blessed are you that you have food in your fridge?
Like this.
I woke up like this.
One last basic batch question to you is maybe two. What's your astrology sun sign? And do you know your human design?
I am Aries Taurus cusp.
Oh, I fucking knew you were in Aries because you're hot coming like a bull.
April.
I'm in Aries rising. Okay.
Aries, I think I'm Cancer rising and Virgo moon. It depends on what system that you're looking at. Like there's the Vedic and then there's the Western. Because in the Vedic, I'm Gemini rising, and I don't know what my moon is, but in the other one, I'm Cancer rising. And I'm what do you think my human design is?
Oh, you're a generator.
Manifesting
generator. Yeah.
With I don't know all of the 4-6 sacral.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. I'm not that in depth with it. I wish. I mean, I could look it up, but no, I don't know.
But yeah, I am fire. I am energy. I am power. I am fucking force. It's just who I be.
Yep. Be you, be weird, be cool, have fun. And we love you.
Yeah.
And thank you so much for being here.
Yeah, thank you so much, Andrew. This has just been eye-opening and lovely and fun. And we will be sure to link everything in our show notes with how people can find you, follow you, interact with you. And excited to view this book that you say is coming out later.
Well, it's being written. We're working on it. There's no title yet. It's
a work in progress.
I have started and stopped, because I'm just I start and then I'm like, I've had so many breakthroughs, and then I start again because I'm like,
wait, I got to start over.
There's the manifesting generator as an Aries. I'm like, let's do this. Let's make this business. Let's do this. There's always new ideas.
Yes. Totally. That's a perfect place to sign off. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Till next time.
Thank you, guys.
Bye.
Cheers. Thanks so much for hanging out with us today. If this episode lit you up, share it with someone you love. We geek out on having convos with people living life boldly, and we would love to hear your story. So email us at info@nosedive-co.com, and don't forget to follow, and hang out with us at Nosedive Co. on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. Until next time, bye!